Hey everybody, it's John again from Gasper's Automotive Restoration. I've got 3 projects for you today. I want to give you a shop update. I know it's been a while. We've been very busy here as usual, and we've got 3 projects, a Model A right behind me. We've got a Ahrens Fox fire engine, and we also have an American LaFrance down the end. So stay tuned, check it out. Okay, so here's our 1931 Sport Coupe, I believe it is. Yes, it's got a full door, so this is a Sport Coupe. If you don't know the Model A bodies, if you've got a full door here, that makes it a Sport Coupe. And the top there is fake, it does not come down, it's fixed. So some people think those are, it's a Roadster with a full door, it's not, it's called a Sport Coupe. So, but we got this in here. We did a bunch of gremlin work on this, a couple problems, this and that, and brake issues, tires. And then we were test driving it, and we had noticed a couple of noises. We fixed the brake noise, and then we were able to hear quieter noise, and then all of a sudden that noise got louder really quick, and the rear end blew up. So the rear end was on its way out. As you can see, we've got the whole rear diff out of here, and this was professionally rebuilt at Millworks Hot Rod in New Hampshire. And these guys do fantastic work on your early Ford. If you need something redone, restored, you need some hot rod parts, early Ford traditional hot rod stuff, they've got all of it. They also carry Old Yankee Speed Company parts. They're the exclusive distributor for them. So we're great guys, they do excellent work, and we're about ready to put this guy in, and we're going to do that today. But you can see back here, here's the old axle. Here's one of the axle shafts. The end here is all worn. You can see they marked it there. The shaft is just worn out. It's, you know, it's almost 100 years old. It's had its day. And here's the carrier pinion here, and the bearing. I mean, it just got destroyed. The bearing, it was actually the input bearing that let go. So that destroyed the rear end. And it's too bad, but we literally had to replace everything. The only thing that was good was the A-bone, the torque tube, itself, these axle tubes here, and the backing plates, and the brake parts and the spring here. This carrier housing is off of another Model A. This was destroyed inside. It was completely detonated. Everything was junk. Gears, everything were trashed. Axle shafts were no good. So it's a brand new rear end. We've got 600 weight oil to put in there, and it's going to last the rest of this gentleman's life and anybody else for their life too. Won't be a problem. So, but really neat car, great driver. Now we're going to go down here and check out the Ahrens Fox here. Now this is a 1937 Ahrens Fox from the Connecticut Fire Truck and Bus Museum, where I'm a volunteer. And so this is in the shop. This has been a 3.5-year long project. We purchased an engine for this 3.5 years ago. The project sat until about a month ago, and then I started working on this, and we've got this engine back together. So now, a lot of people might say, well, why are you not putting the original engine there, fixing the original engine? Well, this is the original engine right here. This is a Hercules RXC, inline 6 flathead. This engine runs, but it's got a bad rod bearing. And the story is, about 8-9 years ago, we were working on this at the museum. We pulled the pan down, and we had a flywheel noise. The flywheel was making some noise. The axial thrust of the crankshaft was too much, and it was rubbing against the bell housing. So we pulled the pan. We had a special thrust bearing made, installed it, put it all back together. It worked great. 2 months later, a rod bearing started knocking. We pulled the pan back down, figured out the rod bearing, got a new rod bearing, put it in, put it all together, and it ran fine. A year later, we're going to a parade, and we get another rod bearing going. Not the same rod bearing, a different one. So this engine is actually a government rebuild from World War II. These are a 50-50 shot whether they're going to blow up in a year or they're going to last your lifetime. You just don't know who was working on it, who was rebuilding it. Did the guy know what he was doing or not? It's a crapshoot. So if you hear about a government rebuild engine, I recommend, if you need a core and you want to rebuild it and yours has got a hole in the block and you can't get it fixed or whatever, go buy the government rebuild, but rebuild it. Do not try and use it. It's just going to blow up on you. It's a waste of time. So this was too expensive. The museum couldn't afford it. So we bought a truck for $500, and it had a venerable 292 Chevy inline six, my favorite engine probably of all time. I'm an inline six guy. It's just a great engine. Puts out moderate power. It's good on gas for what it is. It's a very reliable engine, very durable. It's basically a 250 six-cylinder with a taller engine block. So it's got a longer stroke, and it just puts out a lot of power. They used to race these engines, I guess, and in a racing circuit, they may still do it. I know the Aussie guys down there in Australia, they love these things. They still race these things, and they make all kinds of parts for these engines. So, but we went through, and we did not rebuild this. We just cleaned this up in-house, and we did, all the auxiliaries. We did, a new water pump and carburetor, fuel pump. Went through the HEI. We got some HEI ignition here, so that makes things really reliable. I'd say this engine's probably from the late 70s. Probably came out of a different truck, and it was in a 71 GMC, but it definitely is not 1971. I mean, especially with the HEI ignition on, that's not available in 1971. So at least not in a truck. So, but we did all that. Of course, we got the Wix filter right on there. Got it from O'Reilly Auto Parts. This is where we get all our auto parts here at the shop. And we mated it up with a transmission I donated. It's a Muncie, I believe it's a 265. I can't remember the exact numbers on that one. If you're out there and you know the exact number on this Muncie, please let us know. It's not a 465 Muncie. We know that it's the predecessor to the 465. So I believe it's a 265. It's got the drum brake on the back here. So this is out of a bread truck or something. This is actually out of a friend of mine's bread truck. I bought another 292 from him years ago, and that transmission came with it. So I donated that transmission here, and we modified the shifter yesterday, heated that up, and bent it back a little bit so it didn't hit the dash. We got that figured out, and we're working on the electrical here. We got a brand new Group 31 in here, so this thing's going to crank right over, and this truck's going to run awesome. So, but a really cool truck. A very unusual thing about this, it came with 18-inch wheels. These are 20-inch wheels in the front. So these were put on, probably, 25, 30 years ago by one of the members, and he found 2 of these. We need to find 2 more because this truck came with 18-inch rims, which is really an oddball size. Why they did that, I don't know, but here's the originals back here. So these tires are probably from the 50s or 40s, I'm guessing. They might even be original. Probably not, but they might be. I don't know. But this thing is, we need different rims because you cannot get an 18-inch tire unless you buy a farm tractor tire, which obviously is stupid and illegal. So we're not going to do that. So that's the story with the tires. We got to take the brakes apart on this. The brakes they've been sitting for years. It's hard to push when it sits for a little bit. The brake shoes get stuck, so the cylinders must be all messed up. So we're going to do that. But we got the grill in here, and the hose bed's all loaded. This is the real At the museum, we don't do fake hose beds. We actually have the hose bed full of actual hose. We don't do the fake, hose wrapped, at the last 2 feet here, being lazy. We do the whole thing. So this is full of 2-inch hose. 3-inch hose. And so we've got a lot of, no, wait, what is in here? Is this 2.5? Yeah, this is 2.5. This is full of 2.5. So we've got 2.5 in here. And just a neat truck. It's outfitted with all the stuff you'd see on it when it was in service, which is what our museum's all about. We don't have the money to, restore a fire truck and spend, $300,000 to redo that. Some museums have that money. They get the grant money, they redo the truck, but you know what? They never drive it. It sits in the museum and it looks pretty, but it never goes anywhere. And these things should be out on the road. And our museum is a mobile museum, and we drive around. We go to car shows, parades, special events. So check out ctfiremuseum.org online and support our museum. We've got a website. That website is just starting up. We'll put it in the description below. And it's new, so give us a little time. We're going to keep updating it, keep making it better, bigger. And there's a bunch of posts on this truck specifically, on this engine, and being put into this truck. So check it out. Oh, and one more thing on this too. We made some custom engine mounts here, which is pretty cool. I went and used the factory mounts here. I got some motor mounts from O'Reilly Auto Parts. They had them right in stock, and the 292 motor mount. And I got some C-channel here from a local metal supply house. And I fabbed up a plate and some spacers and got some grade 8 bolts. And this thing is not going anywhere. So we had to do a custom motor mount there because of that steering box in the way. It's got the older trucks have your steering box inside the frame, which is a pain in the butt. Later vehicles, they put it outside the frame. It makes it way easier. So that's that. And then we've got the other motor mount down here, which we had to go the other direction with. Same idea. And made another plate, bolted that right to the frame on that one. Didn't need any spacers there. And then we made some motor mounts back here. So we went with a 4-point motor mount on this, unlike the original factory, which was just these two up front, and then you'd have a motor mount on the tranny in the back going across with a cross member. The old school trucks used 4-point on the engine, and the transmission actually hangs off the back like it is now. So we made a 4-point mount here. I'm going to be adding an additional strut on here to go down on a 45 to the second bolt below. One of my guys pointed that out, and it was a great idea. Make it a little bit stronger, just in case. So, but this is a really cool project. So check it out, ctfiremuseum.org. And let's get down here to the. Oh, we have a new piece of equipment over here. This is kind of cool. I got this used. You got to follow Facebook Marketplace because there are some deals out there. This thing was on Facebook Marketplace. This is a $12,000 Dake Johnson bandsaw. Okay, this is serious. Now, do I need this thing this big? No, this is huge, but it's not that big, and I paid $200 for this thing. It's crazy. So this thing ran and worked. They just didn't want it. They wanted to get rid of it, and it's awesome. So this thing cuts anything we need. It's a really cool saw. It comes on wheels. It's just awesome. And had the electrician come in and install a 3-phase box that fools the motor thinking it's 3-phase, so we can run it on single-phase 220, and it works fantastic. So that's a new piece of equipment. And then here is the 41 American LaFrance. This has not been in the shop for a while. It's been at Media Blast, and then it's been at the paint shop, and she's just back. I got to go up and get the fenders today with the trailer, but it's really looking nice, and it's just a cool truck. We've got to get the lettering and stuff on the doors. We got some pinstriping to do a little bit, I think, and it's just a neat truck. I mean, the paint job came out really nice. We're doing it right. It's a little bit gone a little over what we expected, but it's just got to be right. This thing is just going to be awesome when it's done, and it's going to be going back to Monmouth, Illinois, and we're excited about it. Just come back here. We got the whole hose reel, everything painted in here nice. We got the silver paint on the running boards. It's just gorgeous. It came out really, really nice. I don't even want to step on it. You're supposed to step on it, but I don't want to step on it. So we've got that, and we got to put together the pump panel here, doors. So this is going to be on the docket here later this week and next week. We're going to be starting to install this stuff on here, but she runs great, drives great. We just need to put her together, and she goes out the door. So look at the front end of this thing. It's just, let me move this thing out of the way. Look at this massive front end of this thing. I mean, just coming down the road, it doesn't have the fenders on it yet. It looks a little goofy without them, but just massive front end. V12 under the hood. Starts right up, runs great. So anyway, that is it from the shop. If you guys like this, click the button, subscribe, and keep that old iron running. And some spacers, and got some grade 8 bolts, and this thing is not going anywhere. So we had to do a custom motor mount there because of that steering box in the way. It's got the older trucks have your steering box inside the frame, which is a pain in the butt. Later vehicles, they put it outside the frame. It makes it way easier. So that's that. And then we've got the other motor mount down here, which we had to go the other direction with. Same idea. And made another plate, bolted that right to the frame on that one. Didn't need any spacers there. And then we made some motor mounts back here. So we went with a 4-point motor mount on this, unlike the original factory, which was just these two up front, and then you'd have a motor mount on the tranny in the back going across with a cross member. The old school trucks used 4-point on the engine, and the transmission actually hangs off the back like it is now. So we made a 4-point mount here. I'm going to be adding an additional strut on here to go down on a 45 to the second bolt below. One of my guys pointed that out, and it was a great idea. Make it a little bit stronger, just in case. So, but this is a really cool project. So check it out, ctfiremuseum.org. And let's go down here to the. Oh, we have a new piece of equipment over here. This is kind of cool. I got this used. You know, you got to follow Facebook Marketplace because there are some deals out there. This thing was on Facebook Marketplace. This is a $12,000 Dake Johnson bandsaw. Okay, this is serious. Now, do I need this thing this big? No, this is huge, but it's not that big, and I paid $200 for this thing. It's crazy. So this thing ran and worked. They just didn't want it. They wanted to get rid of it, and it's awesome. So this thing cuts anything we need. It's a really cool saw. It comes on wheels. It's just awesome. And had the electrician come in and install a 3-phase box that fools the motor thinking it's 3-phase, so we can run it on single-phase 220, and it works fantastic. So that's a new piece of equipment. And then here is the 41 American LaFrance. This has not been in the shop for a while. It's been at Media Blast, and then it's been at the paint shop. And she's just back. I got to go up and get the fenders today with the trailer, but it's really looking nice, and it's just a cool truck. We've got to get the lettering and stuff on the doors. We got some pinstriping to do a little bit, I think, and it's just a neat truck. I mean, the paint job came out really nice. We're doing it right. It's gone a little over what we expected, but it's just got to be right. This thing is just going to be awesome when it's done. And it's going to be going back to Monmouth, Illinois. And we're excited about it. Just come back here. We got the whole hose reel, everything painted in here nice. We got the silver paint on the running boards. It's just gorgeous. It came out really, really nice. I don't even want to step on it. You're supposed to step on it, but I don't want to step on it. So we've got that, and we got to put together the pump panel here, doors. So this is going to be on the docket here later this week and next week. We're going to be starting to install this stuff on here, but she runs great, drives great. We just need to put her together and she goes out the door. So look at the front end of this thing. It's just, let me move this thing out of the way. Look at this massive front end of this thing. I mean, just coming down the road, it doesn't have the fenders on it yet. It looks a little goofy without them, but just massive front end. V12 under the hood. Starts right up, runs great. So anyway, that is it from the shop. If you guys like this, click the button, subscribe, and keep that old iron running.